Felix, well done, you've worked really hard on this. This is looking much, much better, and you're nearly there now, so well done. Ladies and gentlemen, new paragraph. In English, normally we would have a line for a new paragraph. We wouldn't indent two spaces like in Chinese. I'm the chairperson, capital letter, because it's a proper noun, it's the title of today's conference. My name is Felix, please take a seat. That's good. I believe the audience in this room all completely understand what stem cell research is, but people in this room may have their own opinions, plural, because there's more than one opinion, on, about. Actually, you can use either preposition. You can either say opinions on this controversial issue or opinions about this controversial issue. Either one would be fine there, but you need to choose one. First, please allow me to ask all my distinguished guests a question, to introduce your question. How many of you have lost family members to cancer? Or have had family members paralysed because of a terrible accident? Have you ever imagined that these terrible illnesses might have a cure in the future? We don't need ever again because it's repeating the same word that you've used earlier. That's a really clear, powerful introduction, and you've used some rhetorical questions to make your audience think as well. So, new paragraph. According to my research data, we can discover that in the modern world, cancer is one of the greatest problems of human illnesses. This is a little bit waffly, and it might be better just to say is one of the deadliest illnesses, meaning that it's one of the ones that kills the most people. Which is like it, third person, so we need an S, which means if we were able to cure this disease, there will be. So you want simple future, there will be, but actually it would be better to put this into the active life, so into the active voice. So rather than there will be millions of lives saved, it's better to say millions of lives will be saved in the active voice. Millions of lives will be saved. Based on this data. Base and based are interesting. Base is the active voice, but we need to have a somebody who bases something on something. For example, you could say scientists base their predictions on computer simulations, meaning that scientists use these computer simulations to help them make predictions. Base on can never be used with base. It has to be based on, because it's the passive voice here. Something is based on something. Based on the data from here, National Cancer Institute, it's the name of a company, of a group, so it needs to be a proper noun with capital letters. Cancer Institute in 2016, comma. And again, you want the simple future, there will, but it would be better to put it into the active voice. So, more than 500,000 people will die because of cancer. And also, we try to avoid starting a sentence with and, especially in formal writing, so you can just start with also. Also, from, you mean from here. Also from the data of, and again, this is a proper noun because it's a company, so it needs capitals, from the data of the World Health Organization. We can find, or just we can see, that cancer is usually among the top 10 reasons why people die. Again, try to avoid using and. Stem cell research can also support cell regeneration, which means if you broke your leg, if it's a conditional cause, if something, then something else. Here, you're wanting to use what's called the first conditional, which means that it hasn't happened, but you think it's likely. It's quite possible that somebody in your audience might break their leg. So this has to be in the present tense. If you break your leg, this therapy is able to, I think here you want to say reduce the time spent for rehabilitation such as regrowth of the marrow and nerves plural. New paragraph. People usually disagree about this issue because we don't need an is. They believe that stem cell research is sacrificing some people's lives to help others. People would claim would be a better way. People would claim, or you might want to say some people would claim that all human life is equal and no human has the right, is able to decide who should die. It might be better to make it clearer here, who should live and who should die. But the mistake they're making is that there are too many historical events which have happened because of sacrifice. For example, in ancient China, all the famous emperors, plural, because there's more than one, had to sacrifice some people in exchange for peace or resources, and in doing so, by doing this, usually created a turning point for the rest of his governance. Stem cell research can also be one of the turning points of the modern world. That's really good, well done. It'd be better to make this a short sentence so that it's even more punchy for your audience, even more effective. If the scientist means you're meaning one specific one, but here you just mean general scientists. If scientists can accomplish this experiment successfully, millions of lives will be saved. Again, you want to put it in the active voice. I believe that this is the purpose of every culture. If you end with right, it sounds a little bit too colloquial, it's too informal. To end your speech, you can just say, "Thank you very much for listening," or "I appreciate the time that you've taken to listen," rather than saying, "This is the end of my speech." This is really good though, you're very nearly there. Once you've made these corrections, this is an excellent speech and you've really understood how to write a persuasive speech, so well done.